the new P365 Fuse. We're out here at the range today at the Farm Training Center. We're gonna shoot about 200 rounds to this thing and say what we like, what we don't like. Another thing I like as well is how they've gone away from the Foxtrot sights to these new fiber optics. It's really very, very bright out here. So if someone wanted to run this gun without a red dot, didn't have the money for a dot, the iron sights in this gun are awesome. So before we get into the Fuse, let me tell you a little bit about what we do here at RDR. We're a soft goods manufacturer. We specialize in plate carriers, placards, chest rigs, canine gear, our Safari holster mods, holster wraps, all of which you can find on our website at rdrgear.com. So the Fuse, the full size. I think full size is a misuse of the word. It is not a full size handgun. It is literally the exact same gun as the AXG or the macro model. It is simply just a longer slide without the compensated slide, of course. It is in the hand, it is everything a P320 AXG Legion is, or macro. It is the same macro frame. A couple of cool things about this, we'll go from slide to the frame. I do like the sights because they are different than the X-ray sights. They are not night sights. There's a fiber optic front, blacked out rear, which is always my preference on any pistol I have. When you guys look at the old X-ray style, they're a little bit lower and they have that front green night sight on the front sight for the X-ray sights, and they have the blacked out rear, and some of them have the inserts, and I can't remember if this one has them or not, but I believe it does on the AXG. So again, that's something that's a departure on the slide top end. That's different from all the other P365 generation pistols. The new serrations on the front, very cool design there, matching on the rear. These are much, much deeper than you look at the old previous generations. These are pretty thin. These are much deeper, much more aggressive, which are I really do like that portion as well. The lightning recess here, I've heard some people say it's designed for ease of reholstering. I don't know if that's true or not, but I've heard several people say that I've never had a problem with holstering any other model variant. So again, that's something that I'm not quite sure if that's true or not, but the styling of the slide is super clean. So that's something that I do like there. Romeo X Pro Compact. This is the open emitter. I do not believe the enclosed model you're seeing on social is out yet. I believe the only people who got those were the SIG Next event influencers that were invited out to that event. They got the gun prior to release with the enclosed model, and then the other way to get the enclosed model is if you buy the package. So you get the pistol and the enclosed model, Romeo X Pro. There's a lot of features in that dot I think you guys will like. At the end of the day, that's here nor there for this particular review, because this is a great red dot. I really do like this red dot. No plate required. It just drops in. It fits perfectly. So again, you know, this is a great option. You can use typical Hollow Sun EPS carries as well. They drop in as well. No plates required. So again, this is an enclosed option, open option. Your preference on which one you prefer. Frame. I mentioned before, it is a macro frame. It has the laser stippling that the other one does not have. Laser stippling doesn't do anything really for me. I think you can get it or you can go without it. It's your choice. You do get the back straps. They are stippled as well. The integrated magwell, which is removable. If you don't want it, you don't have to have it. One thing that's nice on the frame, if you guys can see this right here, is a super deep undercut, which puts this gun super low in the hand. When you look at this here, I don't have huge hands, but I have very long fingers, but there's no way you're gonna get slide bite. The clearance is plenty through here, so there's no issue. Even if you had a much large, you'd have to have a really monster hand to get that slide bite there as well. So again, that's something that's super nice because this just allows that gun to sit in the hand much deeper. And then with that extended beaver tail, it's a great fitment there as well. Trigger. This is a nickel boron type coating on the trigger and then internally as well. The gun, we literally came out the box today. We zeroed at the range. prior to filming, so I haven't had a ton of time on it. I don't know if a Sig trigger breaks in per se, like, some people say, oh, it needs a break-in time. Maybe so. I don't know if there's really a scientific way to determine a break-in period. It is a polymer and frame and steel slide. It's not like a steel slide like on a 1911 or 2011. If you ever owned an Ed Brown, you know what I'm talking about. So I'm not for sure there, but the macro or the AXD trigger that I have, I feel is a little cleaner than the Fuse trigger, because it feels a little bit like has more take up maybe. But again, that could be just psychosomatic, who knows. Romeo Foxtrot, I've had this when Sig did send out the AXD Legion. So again, when they sent that out, they sent me the light and the red dot. This is a little different when we get to the magazines. So I've seen some content online on Instagram, guys having problems with the 20 rounders. Today, we used all the 2 magazines that came with, the 17 rounders that came with the pistol, and then all the macro mags that I had, and then all the Legion mags I had. So it's like, that's what, 6 magazines, we had 17 rounders. I actually forgot about these, so we did run a magazine, the 20 rounder mag with the pistol at the very end. I was able to get all 21 rounds into the magazine, but the factory 17 round magazines that came with the pistol, those ones I could only get 15. No matter what I did, 15 was the max. So that's something that maybe a break-in, who knows. Every other magazine that I owned from the macro that I have, as well as the Legion, all those magazines worked great. So they had no problem loading full 17, and then we had no issues there. We did have 3 failure to feeds, and I should have documented that better if that was the new magazines or the old magazines. That's my fault on that. This won't be the last review you see on this pistol. I do have the new Streamlight HLX coming, so I am going to try that. I'm also going to try to swap the red dots. I'm curious to see if the Holosun screws, the length of those screws, are causing some malfunction. I've seen some guys having issues with Holosuns on the guns, so we'll tinker with that. I am going to do some mix and matching with frames and slides, but other than that, so far, again, 3 failure to feed. So the failure to feed is a common trend as of right now. I've seen several guns not function, but again, today it was very sporadic. I was thinking at first it was me, like I had my thumb too high. These serrations are pretty sharp, they're pretty deep. So I thought maybe I was causing the gun to drag as it cycled. My thumb was too high and it was causing a drag and therefore not allowing to slide to send that new round home. Not for sure if that was the case. I'd have to do more. We shot around 250 rounds today on the pistol. Nothing super crazy, but I do like it. Now, something I'll close with you guys on this. Who's this gun for? Is this something new than this? In my opinion, no. I think these guns are very similar. I think the Fuse is a couple things. I have a good friend of mine, Julie, who is getting into guns. She was never really into guns. The guy she was dating got her into guns, and now she just kind of enjoys recreational shooting. She wants to get to a couple of classes. She's been doing like the 4 hours here and there at the local ranges, but she owns a P365 as her carry gun. She had not bought a macro. She had been looking at a macro due to the round capacity for a training gun. There is something to be said for the Fuse that's going to fill a training niche for some folks who want to have like comparison in regards to grip angle, trigger, manual of arms, etc., which I think is a very smart way for someone new into shooting sports to kind of stick to something they're comfortable with. I do feel there's some merit in regards to, if you're comfortable with a pistol, that confidence is there, then you're going to be able to perform and execute and be so proficient with that pistol. By going to the Fuse, it is not much bigger than any other pistol out there in the macro size or the P365. It is similar in length to a 320, but it is not similar in width to a 320. So things like duty holsters, like Safariland, they don't fit. The gun is still too narrow widthwise to fulfill the width of a Surviving holster. Lengthwise, it's the same. We're good there, but unfortunately, it's not wide enough. So when you look at the pistols, and I should have brought a 365 with me for comparison, but when you look at holsters, what some people don't realize is if the slide length is longer, the concealment is easier. Because if we, for example, use this magazine as my belt, right? And we kind of put that there. So now I can have a clearance here between the top of my belt and my jeans. And this is where I'm going to index the pistol to draw the gun. If I can pin this pistol to my body, even lengths, right? Below the belt and above the belt, that concealment is much, much better. Because now it's an even and less printing. And then if you have a claw on your holster or a foam pad behind the holster, that even makes it more comfortable and even conceals more. When you look at guns that are kind of more grip heavy and slide less below the belt line, same concept, the magazine being the belt, when I can see how much holster or pistol I have above the belt line and how little I have below the belt line. What that does is when that belt pins to the body, the slide below, now the pistol does this because the belt is pushing and there's not enough below slide length versus grip above the belt line. That sometimes will cause that printing. That can be fixed a little bit with foam pads and claws, but if you can get longer slide length on a pistol for a carry gun, you're always gonna have better concealment in the long run. That's why when you see guys carrying full-size 17s, 19s, some guys carry 34s, that's why that concealment is easier because the slide is longer. So something to be said on that. But at the end of the day, I think the Fuse did well. Price point was solid. It gets you a little bit of a bigger carry gun. There's not much holster options out there as of yet. I'm sure things will come along in regards to outside the waistband, EDC, etc. I think most of the guys are probably going to be building these with the TR7 Streamlight lights. I'm sure someone will offer the Foxtrot. Very similar lights. The Foxtrot puts out just a smidge more candela, but with the new HLX light that's out right now, I think the HLX paired with the Fuse, paired with whichever red dot you want to use, the Romeo X Compact is a great option there, but you can also use an EPS carry. But what's great about these is being able to mix and match, as we always known, the adult Legos of Sig. That gives you guys a lot of options. If you already owned a macro, you already have additional magazines. And of course, as time goes, once this gun gets through its initial launch, everybody's got theirs, retailers, etc., you're probably going to see slide options, mag options coming in the near future. So guys, that's what I got for you today on the P365 Fuse, the newest variant of the P365 family. Sig Sauer, check your local dealers for parts and pieces. All these accessories you can find at Sig's website. As well, you guys, if you like the content, you made it this far, like, subscribe, share, interact. It'll train your algorithm to show you more content like this. Until next time, be well, take care.